Hello ladies, it's Food Friday and I'm Janine Kramer. I will be your hostess here today. We are going to be making skillet flatbread today, and I chose this recipe because it is very simple, and hopefully if you are able to have some flour in your house, which I know has been a challenge these days, it only takes 3 cups of flour, no yeast because yeast isn't available anywhere unless you happen to have your own stock. So we're going to get started. This recipe is from King Arthur Flour, and I will make the link to the recipe and a blog available to you when I'm done. Alright, so what I need first is 3 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. I also have bread flour. You can use either one of those. It calls for all-purpose flour. I will be adding a few things to it just for fun. But it calls for 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of salt, that's 3/4 twice. For you math people out there, calls for 3 tablespoons of oil. Should have had this poured out already. And a cup of ice water. Now what I did with the ice water was I put it in a larger container so that I can just pour it in and not have to deal with the ice. They say ice water because it helps, even though this is oil that's in there with it, it helps the oil much as you would use cold butter. So here we go, mixing it up. This is my dough whisk. I like it very much. You can use just a regular spoon. Wooden spoon would be fine. We're going to mix it together until it forms, how do they call it? Moist but not sticky. So it starts to come together pretty nicely. Kind of like biscuits, so you want the dough to be kind of like a biscuit dough. Oh, I didn't add the fun extra stuff. So things that you can put in extra for this, which I put in to another one that I made just a few minutes ago, was cheese powder. If you have any cheese powder, I've got some Vermont cheese powder that I've been wanting to try, so I put that in there, and I put some Italian herbs in there. So I'm just mixing this until it makes all one, like that. I'm going to cover it up, set it aside, let it rest for 10 minutes, which I've done already with this one. So then I'm going to take this one out. This is the one I put the cheese powder and the herbs in, as you can see. And so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little oil in my pan over here. Whoops, that might have been a bit much. That's okay. We're going to let that heat up. I have it set to about 350. It says medium high, so it seems to work. Then we're going to divide this up into 12 approximately even, doesn't matter, pieces. They say about the size of a large egg. So that's what we're doing. And I'm not going to round them. I'm going to make them kind of square so that they'll fit in my pan. So what you're going to do is you're going to dredge them in flour. And then you're just going to form them, and you can form them however you'd like. They need to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, so I'm going to call that good. And I'm going to do several of them before I put them in. So you can see why I'm making them square, because I cut them square. It's just easier that way. Stop making so much noise. So as I'm doing this, there were some questions I wanted to ask you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. What has been a food challenge that you have found in this interesting time that we're in? I know for me it's been finding eggs, but yay, thank you, Therese. She brought me some eggs today, so I'm now good with that. What have you been challenged by in this time? And also, I'm wondering what you would like to see if we keep doing this, which that's the plan. I already have an idea of what I want to do next week. What would you like to see? Okay, so here we go. Putting them in. Yep, I was going to make 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Throw another one in there. Okay, so I'm setting my timer for 2.5 minutes, and then while that's going, I'm going to form the next ones. You can also roll them out if you want to, if that's easier for you. I hope that you have been able to connect with some other women during this time. I have appreciated, I so enjoyed the other touch point videos that have been made, and I'm looking forward to each one. They're puffing up nicely. I'm curious to see how this one turns out with the cheese powder in it. I made one already with rye flavor, and that was tasty. So we'll see how these go. Oh, that one's going to be odd. But that's okay. Odd is not a problem. Right, and when that timer goes off, I will be flipping them over. You can also make them without oil in the pan if you're trying to cut down. It just makes it different if you're trying to cut down on your fat content, but it just makes them different. It's fry bread, so fry it. Go ahead, use the oil. 23 seconds left. So yes, I said I already have an idea of what I'm going to make next week. Do I tell you or not? Oh, and you can go ahead and throw any questions that you have onto the video, and I will try to take a look at them and answer them for you. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how these are. Looks gorgeous. Hope you can see that. So here's one of the ones that I made earlier. If you can see, Turns out about that thick. You can, so this one has rye flour in it. That's why it's a little bit different color. I just was experimenting. Cream cheese. They call for tomato and a thin slice of onion and some chives on top. Doesn't that sound good? Sorry, I don't have any fresh tomatoes at this time. But it makes about 12. You can make them smaller or bigger as you prefer. I will be putting them on my rack when I take them off, and of course I forgot to start the timer because I was chatting with you. So, hey, here's a plug. Tuesday night, my Bible study ladies are meeting on Zoom. And if you would like to join us as we finish up Exodus, you are entirely welcome. It's really nice to be able to chat with somebody live where you can see their face. So if you want to join us, if you'd like me to send you an invitation to that, you can put your name and just say, please invite me to Tuesday night. Shameless plug. Come join us for Bible study on Tuesday night. How much time was I talking? Getting close. So if you choose to bake them rather than fry them, you won't get the brown quite the same as you do with the oil, but it will still bake through. I tried some of the, let's see if I can find one. So you see, it's just not quite as golden as these are turning out to be. But you can put your favorite seasonings in. You can just experiment. And I did this with James a couple years ago when he was quite a bit younger, and he thought it was fantastic. It was so easy. You just help them with the measuring, let them mix it all together, and then of course you'll do the frying, and then they get to eat it, and that was fun. So try it with your kids, your grandkids, and here we have it. Skillet flatbread. Smells really good. Sorry, no smell-o-vision. And I am going to throw a little more oil in here. Bake the rest of them, but you don't need to stick around for that. Kind of boring, sitting there watching them bake. But I hope you have enjoyed this first installment of Food Friday. Let me know what you'd like to see or what questions you have. That's it for now. Bye.